Okay, in this video, I'm going to be doing a side-by-side comparison between the Trickster trio and the Zombie Stack trio. And as you can see, I have all 6 characters lined up beside each other, and I thought it would be a good idea to go through each of them one by one. So let's get into it. Okay, we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. So let's start with the shoes. Now, the Trickster trio has clown shoes, while the Zombie Stack trio has standard shoes with sculpted shoelaces and everything. Now, if you look, you'll see that the Trickster trio's clown shoes are in an assortment of different colors. With the red clown, they are purple. With the purple clown, they are green. And with the yellow clown, they are red. Whereas with all 3 zombies, they literally carry the same color shoe sculpt with no changes or differences whatsoever. Now moving on, we've got the hand sculpt, which is literally the exact same appearance-wise. They are shaped exactly the same, as you can see. You get an up-close look at the hand. It is thoroughly detailed. If you look closely, you can see small little veins in there. You can see the fingernails, a bit rough looking. And if you look real close, you can see small little lines in between the fingers there. That's to, I suppose that's somewhat well hidden, because you can't really tell that that's there at a distance, but when you're up close, you can actually see the 2 halves of the hand sculpt where it is melted together to form the whole piece. Now with the Trickster trio clowns, their hands are pretty much the same, with a bit of gray in certain areas of the hands. Whereas with the Zombie Stack trio characters' hands, they are all gray. As you can see, they're actually a different shade of gray. As you can see, the lines, the division lines, they are actually a little bit more noticeable, even at a distance. But again, the detailing is quite thorough. The fingernails, the veins on the hands, and everything in between. And then we move on to, as you can see, here's the purple clown's hand, literally the same as the red clown's. Here is the tan suit zombie, or zombie 2, or the zombie in coveralls. His hands are a bit of a darker shade of gray. Even on the outside, it's the most noticeable there. The fingernails also seem to be a tad darker. And then we go over to the red suit zombie, who has the dark gray hands. And the fingernails blend in with the hand itself fairly well. See, he has the darkest color of gray of all 3 of the characters in the zombie set. And the yellow clown's hand is still white, but I think his fingernails are a bit more, yeah, they're the darkest of all 3 clowns. They're the darkest fingernails. And it seems like there is a bit of a slight grayish hue in the hand on the yellow clown. Now for the facial details, the red clown has the purple eyeliner around the eyes. The eyes themselves are green, and all 3 clowns on the Trickster trio have the exact same sculpt of the clown nose right there. You see the bit of goofy teeth that the red clown bears. And if we look inside the mouth of this guy, you can see a bit of what appears to be a number code of some sort, which I believe I was told is the item number for this character. That's a very weird place to put that, but it's there. The bottom jaw is also different with the chin, the bumpy chin right there, the red lipstick also being a pretty much the same on all three clowns. Now moving on to the purple clown, you can see this one actually has eyebrows, and he seems to have a more of a jolly face on him. You can see, yeah, he's got the green eyeliner, he has red eyes, and his teeth seem to be a bit more pointy, if anything. Yeah, well, not exactly pointy or really sharp, but they are a bit more mountain-shaped, if you will. The bottom jaw on this one is a little bit more of a triangular shape. And I believe there's the item number in this one's mouth. And then moving on to the yellow clown. He's got the black eyeliner, has the yellow eyes, and he actually seems to have big bulky teeth. And he has a bit of a more of a curvy jaw. And you can see there's the item number. It seems like the text has been downsized in this one's mouth. And also, it's worth mentioning that there are some small dark streaks in each clown's hair. That is how it is naturally. That is not a factory error. That is the way it is designed. Same with the red clown's hair. If we look, you can see the hair kind of divides in the back and then goes to the other side. And then the purple clown has the bit of the purple hair going around the back of his head. You can see the little stains around the hair if you look closely. Now here's the zombies detailing. Here is the first zombie, the black suit zombie. You can see his eyes are looking up. If we look in the eyes, there is some veiny details, and you can see a bit of red around the edges there to give the idea that his eyes are bloodshot. The little black dark circles, little bags around the eyes. And you can see little what appears to be bullet holes. You can see in the top of his head here, you can see this big gash here with his brain exposed, and then another part of his brain is kind of sticking out of the surface here on his head. See chunks of flesh missing on the upper lip and in the bottom portion of the lip there. And this one, they seem to have removed the item number from the inside of the mouth for this one, but you can see there's more detailing on the inside of the mouth. You see some detailing on the tongue itself there. And that's just a little bit of glue on the chin there. Now here's the tan suit zombies detailing, otherwise known as Zombie 2. You can see the first thing that is noticeable right away is all the veins on his scalp and forehead. There is a big gash right there. Looks like a pretty big blister. As you can see here, he has a pretty big glaring expression on his face, especially noticeable in the eyes. And once again, the veins in the eyes with a little red around them. The veins in the eyes to give the idea that they are bloodshot. Little bags around said eyes. And then the socket on where his nose would be. And then his teeth, and you can see the little detailing on the inside of the mouth. And he has hair, like with the purple clown. The hair goes around the back of the head. It's a bit longer and grayish. Looks like there's some detailing on the around the ears as well. Little chunks of flesh missing all around on his face. And now here is the facial details of the red suit zombie, otherwise known as Zombie 3. First and foremost, he is the one zombie to have a full head of hair. And you can play around with this and adjust the hair to, you can either make it look proper, improper. You can have it sticking up, you can have it straight down. And you can see his eyes are looking down. There's the veins and then the red around the edges with more bags and bloodshot detailing. You can see a chunk of his nose is missing right there. And it appears he is missing his two front teeth, so to speak. Got the another chunk of his lip missing there. Has the jaw right there. Seems to have the most normal set of teeth. And there's the tongue, which seems to have seems to be the smoothest and the cleanest of all the detailed of the zombies' mouths from the inside. Another chunk of flesh exposed right there. And now we'll get into the other storage-based details of these characters. Another thing to take note of is the assembly procedure for each of these trios. When you're assembling the Trickster trio, there's one extra step. After you attach the right arm to the yellow clown, you take his mallet and attach it to his hand. Then when you're disassembling the item for storage, you remove the mallet from his hand, then you take out his arm. Whereas when you're assembling the zombie stack trio, the barbed bat already comes attached to the hand since it is part of the sculpt. So that actually is a bit more time saving. So with that in mind, that means that all you would have to do is just attach the right arm to Zombie 3 or the red suit zombie. And then when you're taking them down for storage, you just remove the arm and you don't have to remove the bat. Now it's time to go over their activation sequences. The Trickster trio has 3 phrases, and the Zombie Stack trio has 5 phrases. So I guess we'll start with the Trickster trio, and then we'll do the Zombie Stack trio.
It's the perfect night for some serious pranks. Hey, Candy, both of you quiet down. Don't make me whack you again. We need to find some trick-or-treaters and steal their delicious candy. Ah, yes. The sound of screaming children is like music to my ears. I like the sound of the candy wrappers opening. Shut up! Look, there's a trick-or-treater right there. Get your candy now!
Now that was just the first phrase, and as you can see, they go on for quite a while. The characters' dynamics and their personalities and mannerisms really do bounce off of each other, and it does make for some very witty banter, to say the least. Now on to the next phrase.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Hush. Pick up jokes. Philip. Philip who? Philip my bag with candy. That's pretty funny. funny, but hitting people with my mallet is funnier. How about some tricks and treats?
Just telling a simple joke there. An oldie but a goodie.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Your phone is smart. So why aren't you? Trick or
That's my favorite phrase because it actually has a bit of a hint of satire to it, and it actually is quite relevant in this day and age. Because if you know about the iPad babies and the those who watch brain rot on TikTok mindlessly, this actually does. They actually are taking a shot at them, and that's what I find very admirable. And Pan Asian of all companies managed to step up to the plate and actually take the shot. So that's why I respect modern Pan Asian a lot because of witty dialogue like that. Now we'll go ahead and do the zombie stack trio. All right, now it's time to get on to the zombie stack trio.
Told you guys, this is the spot for the best brains.
Well, I'd rather eat rats for dinner. This one's a dud. Why not both? Rats for an appetizer and brains for the main course. Even if it is on the lower grade side. Whatever. I'm hungry. Let's eat.
Who's up for a spooky story?
Only if it involves brains and a side of humorous, please. Get it?
No one cares. The spooky story is to distract this walking meal so we can smack them and eat them.
Oh yeah! Come here, it's dinner time!
Why did the zombie cross the road?
To catch a leg up on the competition, of course. We'll go back and get his leg. Mine is always falling off.
Sounds like you could use a new one.
Hey, let's take yours.
I think my arm's falling off again.
Quick, use it to swat some flies. Or save it for dessert. Nothing like a finger food snack.
But then I'll need another one. Hey, who's that?
Give us your arm, and we'll give you candy.
What's that smell? Is it fresh brains?
Nope, that's just the trick-or-treaters. Or maybe it's leftovers from last week. Either way, I'm digging in.
Smell you later. I want something fresh.
Trick-or-treat! Can't wait to have brains to eat!
All right, as you heard in the Zombie Stack Trios dialogue, it doesn't focus so much on the banter per se, although it is there. It's sprinkled in there throughout the 5 sayings that you get with these guys. It's more or less focused on, eating, brains, rats, certain parts of the human body. The typical trope you'd get with zombie characters in horror movies and such. But I believe just with how much they talk about eating, it wouldn't feel too out of place to have a zombie stack trio displayed for Halloween in, like, say, a restaurant, maybe a pizza parlor or a small business diner, or maybe a Chinese restaurant. Just a thought. But I suppose that now brings us into the personalities of each character. Starting with the red clown, he seems to be more of a mischievous kind of guy who always knows how to keep it fun, kind of like the Joker from Batman. Whereas with the black suit zombie, you could just tell by his tone and accent and voice alone that he seems like a pretty chill and mellow guy. And then moving on to the purple clown, he's as if his facial expression wasn't enough of an indicator. This guy seems to be more of a, you know, dopey, happy-go-lucky goofball kind of guy. And whereas with the tan suit zombie, I mean, with his expression, you can kind of tell he's a bit more ill-tempered, short-fused kind of guy. And then going over to the yellow clown, he seems to be more of the leader of the pack, the who's keeping the other two clowns in line, with causing mischief on Halloween night and pranking trick-or-treaters and such. Whereas the red suit zombie seems to be more of the right-hand man of his respective group. Now, I suppose it is time to stack these guys on top of each other, and I will get back to you once I get them stacked side by side, and we'll see them both in the stacked position together in the same room. Alright, here are both trios stacked beside each other. And by the way, something else I forgot to mention is that another big difference these guys have is their sampling rate. The Trickster trio has a lower sampling rate, which would allow to have room to give them at least 2 more phrases, so that these guys would have 5 phrases like the Zombie Stack trio. And I'm guessing they probably did have at least 2 more phrases planned for the Trickster trio, but they didn't make the final cut. Whereas despite the fact that the Zombie Stack trio has a higher sampling rate, it does have 5 phrases. It's pretty amazing. Now, logically speaking, it does make more sense for the Trickster trio to be stacked on top of each other, because it's the kind of thing you would see in a circus. It's the kind of act that clowns would do, or a group of clowns would do. They would stack on top of each other in a tower-like fashion for like a gag or an amazing mind-blowing trick. So it does make sense to have these guys stacked on top of each other. Where it doesn't really make as much sense for zombies to be stacked on top of each other in the exact same way. The only reason I can think of as to why zombies would stack on top of each other like this would to become a force to be reckoned with. I mean, it's a little weird, but just because it's weird, it does not mean it's bad. I don't know why so many people think that anyway. Just because something's weird means that it's bad. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. But I really can't imagine people stacking the zombies on top of each other. And if they did, the only reason I can see them doing that is for space purposes. So if you like have a lot of Halloween props, but the zombie stack trio is taking up room standing side by side, you would stack them on top of each other to leave some extra room for another animated prop or another Halloween decoration, like an air-blown inflatable or something like that. So that's really the only purpose that I can see zombies being stacked on top of each other. But for what it is, it's not bad. Not at all. But now I guess we'll go ahead and turn these guys on, and we'll see them playing side by side in the stacked position. Hold on. All right. There we go. Get the Trickster trio. Hold on. Here we go. Oh.
Night for some serious work.
Hey, Candy. Go quiet, guys. This is the spot for the best brains.
I better relax for dinner. This one's a dive. Why not both? That's for an appetizer, and brains for the main course. Green and good is on a lower grade side.
just noticing that the red suit zombie's mouth is starting to get a little weak. I might have to remove a spring in there pretty soon. We'll go ahead one more time. And there you go, guys. That's a side-by-side comparison between the Trickster Trio and the Zombie Stack Trio. Which one do you think is better? Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!